Hello shooters, thanks for watching. TI here. Today's episode of Tyron Goes to School is I'm going to take this AR handgun that I have. I'm going to add a Law Dog tactical folding stock mechanism. Why would I want to do that? Because this is pretty short anyway. Well, if I can get this stock to fold, then I can stick it in a backpack. This is legally a handgun, and I can quote-unquote carry it concealed for certain situations. Okay, let's open up the box. I noticed when this came in the mail, it comes with a good set of instructions. I noticed the box was heavier than what I was expecting it to be. You don't lose any parts. You have to replace all the parts. You take all the parts off your gun, and you put this on, and you put all the parts back on. So this is a total addition of, almost 12 ounces to the gun, so you'll just be aware of that. This thing is solid steel. There's no aluminum on this bad boy. It is solid steel. Okay, the first thing is you got to disassemble this unit, and we're going to take this thing off right here. The Law Dog does not come with the requisite hex wrenches. You need a 9/64, which is this is. You need a 3/32, which is what this is. So they want you to disassemble. You take this socket head cap screw off there. And this is under spring pressure, but it's not going to fly anywhere. It's not under a ton of spring pressure. You take that piece out, you take the spring out, and that piece drops out. Then I've already got the buffer and spring out of my lower here, and I've loosened my castle nut. I put my thumb on that base plate there and undo the cast nut a little bit. There's a spring right there. And you don't want that thing to go flying, and it will if you don't do things right. Then you've also got a spring and plunger right there, so as soon as you start unscrewing the buffer tube, that thing is going to want to pop out. So I've got that out enough that I just pulled that spring out. There's a plunger in there, so I don't want to tip the lower any farther that direction. Now this plunger and spring can come out, and now as long as I keep the lower pointed kind of a downward direction, we're good to go. Take the buffer tube off, set it aside. Take our Law Dog, and I'm going to be putting this spring back on. Put the spring in the hole there. That spring and plunger is what holds your rear takedown pin in, so it doesn't come all the way out. And you see that male interface there? It's going to go in that hole there. And you want the buffer spring, you want that little spring there to be captured. Then you take this bad boy, and I like to do this by hand to get the initial threads lined up, because what you don't want to do is mess up the threads on your lower. Okay, I can feel I've got it engaged. It does come with this tool here, which interfaces with that, and you're able to get this screwed down inside. I kind of wiggle that around a little bit. Okay, that's tighter than a drum. Then there's a little, you take your 3/32. I'm going to back that off just to make sure that wasn't in too far. Stop me from going in all the way. No, it was good to go. Then you just want to tighten that up in there. Not a bunch, you don't want to break it, but that'll keep that thing from backing out. Now, I push that up to 90 degrees. We're going to drop our drop our parts in here. And they're made so you can't drop them in wrong. They did a good job of making this marine proof. And you push on that. Again, start the threads by hand. And now you should be able to, that should push under spring pressure freely. Okay, now we're going to get the buffer tube. And I screwed the buffer tube on almost all the way. I watch this hole right here, because when the buffer tube gets close to that hole, that's when I insert the spring in the plunger. So let's get her going. Watching that hole. Okay. Alright, right now is when I need to put the plunger and the spring in. And I just put my thumb in there and push down on it all the way. Another quarter turn. And we're good to go. Now I'm gonna close the locking mechanism just so that I can eyeball the hand brace, excuse me. Or if you're doing this on a rifle with the stock, tighten up the castle nut, just finger tight for now. Okay, it freaked me out for a second there. I looked in here where the spring and the plunger typically is, not. Oh crap, I must have lost the spring and plunger when I was tightening that up. But no, the spring and plunger is where it belongs now. It's farther back in the there it is right there. So we can take our spring and our buffer and push it in there. There we go. Now let's assemble the upper onto the lower. Before we do, we take this piece and we push it in the back. Had to do some twisting there to get it all the way in. Pushed in the back of the bolt carrier group. Then, from what I understand, we got to kind of do a funky chicken here. Because that piece sticking out the back of the bolt carrier group, and let's fold it to make sure. There we go. That's a nice short package. So thank you for watching. Appreciate the support you give by watching my channel. Appreciate the shares, likes, and subscribes. I will be doing a range report on this soon. This was just like the install video and the purpose that I got it for. Hope you enjoyed it, and ensure that your training and your practice is preparing you for the real world, your real world, and not for the fantasy land of the shooting range. Have a nice day.